So I thought I'd show you guys my classroom since this is our new spot here. And there's Penny, who is ignoring me, but she likes to help. So I will be recording some of our videos from here so that we can get some help with different problems. You can still contact me with any questions that you have, but I will do my best to make these short and to the point. And that way, if you have comments, you can make them on the videos, but I have them set to review before anything's going to be posted. So if you have anything direct, you still need to email me at jcartwright. I'll write it on here. Most of you know it. But jcartwright@ptisd.org. So the first thing I want us to do, we're going to look at multiplying and dividing rational expressions. All of you guys have these notes, but this way you can go through them. As I look at them, you can pause it, go back and forth, and look. We do not want common denominators here. It doesn't matter with multiplying and dividing. We're simply going to multiply top times top, bottom times bottom, or denominator, and then simplify our answers as we go. We can simplify first on some of these that are factors. They'll make it easier. But you can always simplify it at the end, especially when you're dealing with numbers. So if we look at these, there's nothing to simplify top and bottom. So if I multiply straight across, I simply get 5/12, and we're done. If we look at number 2, anytime you have a set of factors that have addition and subtraction, I would put it in parentheses. Then if we multiply straight across, we have 5 times x minus 3 over 2 times 4 is 8. And remember, we have to use our distributive property to get 5x minus 15 over 8. We are not solving. We are simply simplifying these. So you will not get a single number answer unless it's one that doesn't have any letters like this. The rest of them should have some kind of letters in your answer. So don't try to start dividing here and solve for x. We're not solving for x. Okay, so number 3, I have addition and a subtraction here, top and bottom. You cannot cancel these 3's because this 3 is attached to the x, so we can cancel these off. What I can do is go straight across. X times x plus 3 on top, 3 times x minus 2 on bottom. Use your distributive property, x squared plus 3x. And on the bottom, we have 3x minus 6. If there was a 3 here, I could divide and cancel some of that. But since this is understood to be a 1, there's nothing that goes into all these terms. So we're finished. That's your basic idea when you're multiplying. Now, sometimes you can simplify first. If you notice up in here, it says it's going to be easier to cancel when possible before you multiply these together. So if I look at these two, anything from top to bottom can be simplified. So if I look at these two, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 27/9. So I can simplify that. Here, 5 goes into 10/2, 5 goes into 25/5. So now I can think about it as 1 times 2 over 5 times 9, which is 2 over 45. Now, if you just have numbers, you can go ahead and multiply them and then simplify at the end. But as we talk about letters, that's going to make that more difficult. So we probably want to try to simplify first. If I'm going fast, remember, this is the good way. You can always pause it, finish what you're doing and writing, and then go back to it. So we don't have the situation where you can't take your time when you need to. So if we look at this one, these two, one's on top, one's on bottom. Those cancel out. So basically all we end up having is 2/3 times, this is just a 1 now, times 1/5, which is 2 over 15. If it's already factored for you, this makes it really easy. Like I said on the top, put parentheses around anything that's connected with addition and subtraction. And then if it looks the same on the top and bottom, you're going to cancel same factors. not part of a factor, the whole thing. So we're going to cancel x plus 4s. We're going to cancel the x minus 2s. And we're left with a 3 on top and an x minus 4 on bottom. That's all that we can do with that. It's simplified. Okay, for number 7, sometimes we have to factor these before we can simplify. So if it can be factored, we're going to factor first. So this, just like we did on the review of factoring that you guys did last week, we're going to mark this out. We took an x out front, we're left with x plus 5. So now if we have x over 4 times 4x over x times x plus 5. All I did was factored first. Now we can simplify. The 4's cancel top and bottom. This x is going to cancel with one of these, not both of them. It's only going to cancel with one. So we're left with the 4 on top. Sorry, we're left with an x on top and an x plus 5 on bottom. You cannot cancel these x's because remember this is stuck together. Okay, so we can't do anything with that. We have to leave it. Okay, so on number 8, we can factor 10. We can say, remember, we can do our little factoring here. What multiplies to give us 10 and adds to give us 7. So we have a 5 and a 2. X plus 5, x plus 2. I would rewrite it just so that it's clear what your factors are and put the ones in parentheses that are attached by addition and subtraction. So we'll factor first. Then we end up with this. Now we can cancel like terms. So we have an x plus 5 on top and bottom that we can cancel. We have an x plus 2 that we can cancel. If everything on the top cancels, you're left with just a 1 as like a placeholder. So that's all we have left. Sorry, my screen's getting kind of off the paper there. Okay, so the last one here, first thing factor. This one up here, we can do our factoring by lead coefficient. This ends up being 2x minus 3 and x plus 1. Here we have a 4x in common, so it factors to that one. On the bottom, I have an x in common here, so I can factor it there. This one we can't factor. So if we rewrite it, we have 2x minus 3, x plus 1, over x times x plus 1 times 4x, x plus 1 on the top, over the 2x minus 3 here. This one's attached by the addition subtraction, so I'm going to put parentheses around it. So I can cancel from top to bottom there. This x plus 1 can cancel with either one of these. It doesn't matter. But if there's only one, it can only cancel with one. Okay, so we can't do it with both of them. This one has to stay. So we can take this x, and those cancel off because they're both outside of the parentheses. So if you think about what you have left, all we have up here is a 4 on top and an x plus 1 in parentheses. Everything on the bottom canceled off. So we can use our distributive property and say 4x plus 4 is as simplified as that can be. Okay, so look back over those. Go back to your lead coefficient paper. Most of you did really well on factoring those. So look back at what you have, and then anything that's from the top to the bottom, then you can cancel. If you have questions, email me or make a comment on the video, and then I will view those and get back with you. Y'all have a good day.